hit his buddy running on his right side, wounded him. And when Jonathan came in there, he got two of them jammed up against a rock. So two more behind him couldn't get the weapons pulled, get him into play. At about that time, the armor bearer spun around and engaged two more on the other side. And the first thing you know, it was just bloody murder up there. And Jonathan and his armor bearer cut and hacked and slashed and tore in those fellows for 30 minutes. And they killed a bunch of men there that just about covered an acre of ground. And when they got through there and were wiping the blood off the weapons, the armor bearer tapped Jonathan and said, "Look at there, Jonathan. Look at there. Look what's coming up that hill. We ain't seen anything yet." And Jonathan looked down the bottom of that hill, and through the forest and coming up that hill was a whole platoon of those Philistines. About 40 of them. They were all giving those war cries and cannibal yells and charging up there and whooping and hollering and saying, and just about that time, the earth began to shake. Old Samuel was back over there 5 miles away, bowed over that lamb at the altar. That earth began to shake and the rocks began to roll down the side of that hill, and Jonathan said, "Down, man, down. Root hog would die." And they lay down flat beside that cliff and pressed up against it. And down those boulders came tumbling and crashing down that hill over the head, and gravel and debris coming down with them. And those troops coming up that hill, they thought they were running right into Meade's cannon at Gettysburg with a chain tied between each two cannonballs. Those boulders and rocks came roaring down there and crushed in heads, broke legs, broke arms, mashed those men, busted their weapons, knocked them off the cliff, and the whole ground was shaking. Men couldn't even stand up. And off over that hill, Samuel had finished praying. A little white-haired soldier of the cross got up there and glared at Saul, turned around, took his staff in his hand, and hobbled off down the hill. And of course, nobody was looking at him then. All the hosts of Israel and the colonels and majors and captains and Saul were looking over toward the Philistines' side of the fence, facing the enemy there, and Saul was saying, "There's an earthquake. Look at that, look at that, look at that. They're running, they're running." And the colonel said, "Well, let's go after them. Let's don't sit around here like General Meade or General Lucas. Let's go get them." And Saul was about to give the orders of charge, and then some of his colonels said, wait a minute, we forgot something here. We can't go." And Saul said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Why, Saul, you gave your troops orders here 2 days ago not to eat till we whip the Philistines. You said, 'Cursed is the man that eats until I'm avenged on my enemies.' And you ain't avenged your enemies. Our folks been sitting around here with nothing to eat for 2 days. But they can't pursue anybody. They're too weak." Well, the Philistines had mopped them up. And the colonel said, "He's right, General, he's right. These men, hey, they even had K-ration or a piece of chocolate. They couldn't whip a rotten egg." And Saul said, "All right, change the order." So the orders were changed.